Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kirsten. If you've been here before, thank you for joining me again on another madcap adventure into craft and art. Today I'm doing the last of the December Ember prompts, me and my crush. It's taken a while for me to finally think of something to do, but I have now finally got there, and I'm needing a glove because it's a mucky bun. This is the page I have been using for December Ember, and it's a card substrate. So this will be my final prompt page. I'm not doing the second FE letter thing. I did a door, as you know, in my journal, but I'm not going to do another one. But I'll do something on this back page to complete my journal, but we'll come back to what I'm going to do on here in a bit. To start with, we're going to work on this, and this is just a bit of packing paper, and I take this packing paper and I tear along its dots, and then I press it to get all its wrinkles out, which is going to be quite ironic, because what we're going to do today is we're going to make some faux leather. Now, I do my faux leather in a different way to most people. Because sometimes you just have to do it your own way, and this is the way I do it because this is the way I like the results on it. So I use a sponge, a natural sponge, and some cheapo acrylic ink. This is Deco Arts Americana Honey Brown on this bit of Amazon. There are other stores and other packing papers and things. Now, if you're not used to working with a sponge, what you must do is you must wet it, because otherwise it's rock hard, and then you dunk here, and you don't use an awful lot, and it's all very important to turn it around, and then you'll get different angles. I think that'll do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on pause, quickly go and clean up. See, look, you end up with very messy fingers when you're working with a sponge. Clean up, and then I'll show you what, I'll get another piece of paper out and we'll do the other method that most people probably already know. And actually it is the continuation of this method, but it's so you can see the two different results you get if you do this step first. So I'll be back in a bit. Today's prompt is, well, the prompt was from weeks ago. Today is, what's today? Just having a wee look at my phone here. Today is, okay, my phone's updating, so I can't even check what the date is. Oh, there we go. Today's Tuesday the 9th of January. The prompt wasn't Tuesday the 9th of January, but anyway, the prompt I'm doing today is me and my crush. And for me and my crush, I'm going to crush some paper. I'm going to make some faux leather for me and my crush, and that involves crushing paper. So there's the crush bit. There's the crush bit done. So I like to then go around and just kind of really squeeze down all these wee bits. Do the big crush and then go around and crushy smaller. Because actually, the smaller you crush, the better the effect is, I think. I think if you're going for something that's really distressed, you can get away with the big bits like this. But if you're just trying to get a kind of leather look, I think you really do need to go small. But that's my opinion. Your opinion can be different. Like, I've torn the paper. Your opinion can be different, and your opinion is valid. But this is me. Let's crush it small. Yes. some big bits in the middle. Just get them. Okay, so how are you all doing? Have you finished November Ember? Are you still doing November Ember? Has it become a task, a plod to get to the end of it? Right, you see, this is the other thing that people don't necessarily do, is kind of, I flatten it down again a wee bit. I always use a stain-proof ink, a water-resistant ink. So in this case, I've got these little distress archival inks, archival even, and just lightly I brush them over. And I always start with a bit of grey, just to give it a different. Just lightly brush it over, and just let the ink pick up wherever it wants. This paper, and then I scrunch up again, just lightly. It just moves the, which side are we on? On this side. Just moves where the main peaks are. And we're now going to move on to Vintage Photo. And then we'll squish that up again. Creases out. You've got to be very gentle with it. Right, and then I'm going for my third one, Ground Espresso. Then give it a scrunch up, because I'm now going to go back and use the grey again. Now, if this was, it actually already feels very soft just because of the type of paper it is. If this was on darker paper, you'd be already saying, oh yeah, that looks very leathery. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get hand lotion. Some people use conditioner, and you're just going to smoosh it in. The back always looks a bit drier. You can see how much I've torn it, but as I said, I'm not bothered about it being torn. If you're doing some kind of project where you want a nice bit that's all perfect, then you just need to be more careful than I am. I'm really sorry, I thought I'd pressed play on that. I'm going to have to learn what I do wrong when I do that, because it doesn't always seem to come on play when I thought I've pressed play again. This is the other sheet of paper that I was doing for you, and this is the other way I put the whether you used hand cream or use hand cream or conditioner, this is the other way I put it in, which is to actually start at the centre and just keep it, no more squishing, and just move it out. And what you end up with when you do this way is it takes in a lot more lotion for a start, and you don't end up with the tears that I ended up with in the other one, because you're not having to keep on unfolding it again. It takes a lot more lotion because the lotion needs to really sink in, but you also end up with a flat piece of paper. So that paper is flat. It needs to dry, and it will take longer to dry because it's what's the word? It's wetter. But I'll just give you a quick comparison. It's very hard to tell at this stage, but because they're both wet, but you can see that you end up with two very different types of leather because you've got more colour and interest in the background here. I mean, this has got, they've both got a lot of drying to do yet before you can really see what they're like. But I much prefer doing this technique. But that's me. I know the other technique is the one that's preferred by most. I'm just going to put that there and we'll let those dry and I'll clean up and be back. Back again, and these are the two papers that we have made. This is the one that's made in the way that most people make it. There's lots of tears just because I wasn't being careful, so that's not a fault of the method of making. That was just because I wasn't being careful, because I was just trying to get this one done as an example for you. This is the one you saw me put the sponging on first, and then the technique on top is exactly the same as was on this paper that you saw me do. So it was the archival ink and the hickory smoke, then the, can't remember which one it was, and then the top one was, so it was hickory smoke, vintage photo, and then ground espresso, and then hickory smoke again. And so it was both exactly the same colours and exactly the same method in both of these. But you can see how the smoothing out of the paper makes the difference as well. But you can actually see how the colours have come out very differently, just because I think there's more depth to the colours. Although this paper's flatter, there's more dimension than this paper that's still very wrinkly. But you do what you like. Some might say that that looks more authentic than this because you've got the other colours in it, but and I can see that point. But I also like the fact there's more colour in this one. Neither of them, I mean, none of these leather things to me end up looking like leather, so I don't think it matters what they look like. Anyway, let's move on. What I decided to do is I'm actually going to use this one that's a bit torn and tattered to cover this page. I mean, I'm not bothered about it being torn and tattered, but I might try and avoid that really badly torn bit, which I can do if I do it up there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to cover this just in stick glue. And get this page started up. Let's not get any glue on that just now. I've got another project over there that I'm currently working on, and I thought I should have done that on. I've just put that down on top of that page on top of it, and I thought I should have done videoed that in the meantime when I was still pondering this one, shouldn't I? Right, it's a case of learning when to switch the camera on, I suppose, from now on. So let's just put this down here, and I'm not bothering about it being flat because that's all part of the nature of it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get I went to get my ruler there, and my ruler isn't there. My ruler's already here. I'm just going to tear this, I think. As it's already torn anyway. It doesn't even want to tear along the ruler. I wonder if that's, I've never tried tearing this after it's been done before. I wonder if that's because it's now got the other stuff in it that doesn't tear. It might just be because it's not very, it's tearing where it's already weak. So let me just quickly whiz round this. That's not quite stuck down there. Sorry if you hear any banging. The neighbours are doing some work. They've been doing the work now for quite a while, and it seems to be on and off. I'm not 100% sure what they're doing, to tell you the truth, because the banging is at all times of the day or night. But I can't avoid, you can see the sun coming through the window there, reflected on the card. I can't avoid the banging because I don't know when it's going to start up and I don't know when it's going to stop, so I decided I would just do it anyway, do my video anyway, because I really wanted to get this last video done apart from anything else. You will get one final, see, that's folded back on itself because there was a tear there, so let's quickly sort that out. You will get one final December video with a final flip through of the whole journal once I've finished the wee bits and pieces that still need finishing on it, because there's one of the prompts I want to just go back on. There is the back of this page that needs something on it, and there was something else that needed something done to it. Can't remember what it was. So when I've actually, yes, I need to do another spine dangle, because of course when I made my journal bigger, I decided to have 2 spine dangles, and I've done one. I nearly did one for a friendship bracelet as well, but then I decided to do a page for that, and I'd have been a page down anyway. But of course that's the reason why I've got this blank page here, is because Nature's Treasures ended up as a spine dangle rather than a page. And I suppose I could do Effie's second letter as that other page, but I found the whole letter door thing was a bit, well, I found actually a lot of the prompts were a bit contrived, especially these last prompts, but it is what it is, and it's not like I've not managed to get some joy and learn some things. And it's certainly December this year has certainly been a thing that's kind of stretched me, mainly because, as I say, I find the prompts contrived. So there's another bit sticking up. I'm wondering if this is because of the lotion. Maybe it's not sticking down so well. Of course, I've contrived them further, you could easily say, and you would have every right to say, because I have, because this is my crush. But of course, crush is more than that. So anybody who knows me will know, and this is why I did the faux leather, will know that in the past I have been somewhat of a handbag fiend. I had too many handbags. I really did have too many handbags. I've also had the whole shoe fiend thing, and I had too many of them as well, but I kind of stopped them when I realised I was hardly wearing them. I used to have big 3-inch high heels and stuff. Anyway, that's in the past. I still now got more shoes than most people, but I don't find myself on payday sitting there going, oh, let's go and look at the shoes, which is what used to happen. It does help when you don't live near a major supermarket, a major shopping mall with lots of shops in, though. That didn't help matters at all, I can tell you. Anyway, I'm rattling again. Now I suppose people would say gloves is the thing that I can't resist, and they'd be right. However, I did, The reason I did this was because handbags, and leather handbags in particular, I used to, and I still have a lot of them. But that changed basically because of COVID, when we weren't allowed to have handbags and leave things and stuff, and so I stopped carrying handbags like everybody else when I was out, on the rare occasions when you went out and I didn't have a handbag with me. And I started stuffing stuff in pockets, and I've always liked pockets. I can remember as a child I refused to wear a particular dress because it didn't have a pocket in it, and my mother sewed a pocket on it that was pretty much near useless, but it had a pocket on it. It was a dress that she'd made. Before you think, what are you doing? You're saying you can't. I just pointed out the fact she hadn't put a pocket on it, so she put a pocket on it. But now I don't buy anything that doesn't have a pocket on, and I use a handbag on holiday, but other than that, I don't tend to use a handbag at all now. Its pockets have become my crush, my passion, my raison d'etre. I did think, like a lot of people, I could go back and I could talk about my crush of somebody did the Beatles, with me it was Donny Osmond, and I could have put a purple floppy cap hat on there. Or I did think, like somebody else I saw was talking about a school crush, and I thought I could talk about my school crush, who I met many years later in a pub, and he was very interested, and I thought, do you know what? You've missed your chance, mate. You've missed your chance. There's lots of crushes that were of the past that you can talk about, people, things, whatever. But I thought, this is about stretching yourself, and it's also about the reality of today, looking into the future. I mean, Effie's letter is about, dreams and stuff, but, who are we? What are we? So, for me, my current crush, for want of a better word, and because that's what it is, me and my crush is pockets. And I stuff things in pockets, and I put things in other people's pockets as well. People will discover when they get home, suddenly they've got a wee sweetie or a wee notebook or something in their pocket that I've slipped in for them. So pockets is my crush, and I'm just inking up all these pockets that I got. These are all from Barbara's paid for Defender Ember kit, and there was a whole sheet of them. The big pockets was on a different sheet, but these wee slip pockets, there's a whole sheet of them, and I just thought, right, I'm just going to use them, and I'm just going to create a whole pocket, a whole page full of pockets. So we've got this big pocket that isn't going to fit on that way, but will fit on this way. And so I'm going to put that big pocket on, or should I put it in the way? No, I'm going to put it this way, because I think this is going to make it'll make more sense when you see what I'm going to do next. Where's my glitter glue gone? There we go. So let's stick this one down. Editing Kirsten here. I'm just speeding this up because I spent a long time fiddling about. I tried to match patterns, but it wasn't going to work doing that. I then ended up trimming down some of the envelopes, some of the pockets, I mean. So it was a long time. I also discovered the art glitter glue doesn't work very well on this paper. Well, either that or it doesn't like my hand cream, but extra pressure helped. This page is now complete, and we have a faux leather crush, the crush bit and the pockets, because that's me and my crush, and I've now filled up the pockets with wee things made out of the faux leather. So let's start here. I don't suggest anybody does this, by the way, unless, like me, you do a lot of paper folding. This kind of paper is not meant to be folded, but I have managed to make a little crane. Whenever I'm out anywhere and I see a bit of paper or a napkin or something, I quickly nab it and make it into something. Often cranes, boats. When there's young children around, I make them hats, which usually then makes the adults want hats as well, but that's another story. So that's one of the kind of things I do. In this, I already had a wee speak about this, but in this I have a shopping bag, and in the shopping bag I have made out of the leather a little pair of leather shoes with, can't get that, there we go, with a matching handbag. There we go, with a wee matching handbag. Because the only thing better than a nice new pair of leather shoes is when there's a handbag to match. Let me put them back in their shopping bag. And yes, they are done on the other side as well. This is just, I'm sorry, I'm kind of, even for me, I'm hitting the bonkers stage here. Let's go to this pocket next. In this pocket there is one of my favourite kind of journals, a wraparound with a leather strap to hold it in place. So we've got a leather strap, and we have a fresh new journal. Love fresh new journals, art journals, for waiting for the first inspiration to go on there. And it has a leather tie, which I love on my journals as well. So that's that. Put that in there. Then in this one we have, I wanted forever a roll to put my paintbrushes in, and then when I got the roll to put my paintbrushes in, I didn't. It just didn't work for me at all. I didn't like it, but I just thought, I'm going to make a roll for paintbrushes to remind me that sometimes your crush isn't really what you want at all. It's a crush, but it's not what you want. Which maybe reminds me a bit as well of that crush I was telling you of from school days. Then in this big pocket here we have a piece of, right, I'm pretending this is like a piece of vellum, and I stamped on it with, I've got it here, I kept it so I could show you. It's a Dusty Attic stencil called Ledger, and I stamped it, and I just moved it down and stamped it twice. But it's just to remind me of parchment and documents, and I love going to places where you can see old documents and parchments and things like that. So that's just to remind me of that. Then behind that, in this other pocket here, there is a little, I made this out of, I've got a small French dictionary. And the great thing with small dictionaries are you end up with these two columns, which makes great wee faux books. So this is just a wee book to remind me, well, it doesn't need to remind me, but another crush, another thing I love is books. Put that back in there. Is that coming undone there? That needs a wee stick down behind there. Need to sort that out. And then just this last pocket, I think, isn't it? Yep. This is something I take on holiday with me, which is a roll, and it has pliers for when I'm doing jewellery things, or doing things like little dangles like this. And then a pair of scissors and a ruler. So put these in here. And this is it. Here we have the final prompt for December 2023, which is the prompt dated the 28th of December. There we go, 28th of December, even though we are now well into 2024. And as I said, there will be one more December Ember post when I'll do a flip through the journal, and I've got a couple of things. I want to do something on this back page, and I need to do another spine dangle because I ended up with 2 hooks for my spine dangles. And once I've got that done, I'll be back and give you a flip through on another day. It won't be today. But again, I'll put it back that way as I say my farewells. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Keep crafting. Bye for now.